All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and get this started here. See if we can get the music out of here. Perfect, perfect. All right, guys. Well, I'm really happy to be here with you today. My name's Rodrigo, and today we're going to cover a very, very interesting new thing we got here at Benzinga going on. We're going to show you guys a couple things on how to make money trading NFTs. We have something very special, very new, very Benzinga for you, for all the NFT lovers and all the people that are learning how to get into the NFT world, because quite honest, there's a lot of things to sift through, and this is really the place to do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring here Henry Stater and Logan Ross, our NFT pros. Let's get them in here. Come on, guys.
Yo, what's up?
Hey,
Hot Rod, I like that.
How we doing, folks?
doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited about this, to be honest, because it's something I personally have been trying to get into the NFT stuff, but it's really, there's not a lot out there to learn. But number one, before anything, shout out to the folks here, of course, to the NFT pros, because these guys are going to help us sift through all this stuff, right? So, tell us a little bit about this whole new thing you guys got going on here with the NFT stuff, guys.
Yeah, Henry, I can take it away for a second if you want, or I can toss it over to you. Basically, the idea behind this was like, hey, it takes a lot of time and energy and effort to dig through all these discords, dig through Twitter, find the good projects, try to get into their Discord, try to get onto their whitelist, doing all these challenges, super time consuming to find the NFT projects that actually have good communities and good value adds behind them. They're not just pump and dumps, right? This is a time consuming process. We wanted to take that out of the picture entirely. So what we did, we locked Henry in his room for 24 hours straight. And we said, you cannot come out until you find the best NFT projects every single week. I need the Discord link. I need the whitelist info. I need what this project is about, who's the team, when it comes out, everything, right? Every single thing about these top 5 NFT projects each week delivered directly to you by Henry Stater, the man himself. So Henry, why don't you tell us your background in NFTs, how you got started, and what you look for in a project?
Sure. Yeah. So I started out in crypto, got a little bit into it in like 2015, but really got into it in 2020, after the pandemic. And I was really into it, started writing for Benzinga. It was a lot of fun. But what I really, really got into was NFTs. Like in probably the second half of last year, I saw like the huge profit trades, like, somebody selling a penguin for $10,000, ridiculous trades like that. And I was like, wow, I need to get into this. There's so much interesting information, so much interesting profit potential. And I thought that basically there weren't very many writers at all that really covered NFTs, despite how big these opportunities were. So I was loving it. Like as soon as I got in, I made like this first trade and it was huge. And from there, I loved NFTs ever since. I mean, and that's part of why I'm so perfect for this. I think it's just because like I spend so much time with NFT projects and NFT discords as my job already. So it's like, it's perfect that I can just translate my time and effort in NFTs into like easily aggregated and understandable form.
Right, and I do understand that not just learn. I mean, the NFTs is one thing, but you can also make like businesses just out of knowing how to make NFTs. Like, because I was hearing about this company that was literally selling NFTs, two companies, and you can literally like take so many different angles because it's like the music, the art, the business, the logo. Like there's a lot really, and it's still new, and I mean I'm still learning all this stuff, and it's really good to at least know. I mean, how you can make money out of this because it's something that's going to stay with us. It's something that clearly made an impact. Everybody I've seen, like so many Fortune 500 companies get into their NFTs and things like that. Um, and it seems like something that is just going to stick around with us. So I think
Yeah.
it's something that the sooner the better you start getting
I want
into
to
it.
know about the audience out there. Are you guys interested in NFTs? What level of experience would you say you have? And what are you looking for when it comes to NFT projects? How can we help you learn more about them and make money trading NFTs? Henry and I used to live together back in the college days, and I would hear him find a new project, and then I would not hear him for 3 weeks because he would just be in his room like deep diving. Very, very, very what's the word for it, passionate about a project. When you pick one, when you find it, when you like it, Henry is the guy to do those deep dives, spend the long hours. Maybe we could talk about, so everybody drop a comment. First things first, drop a comment letting me know your NFT experience, what you're looking for. Henry, maybe now if you could talk about what you look for in projects, some of the wins that you've gotten along the way. Like maybe I know your portfolio was mostly stocks like 2 years ago. Now, what is it looking like? What's your ETH value if you don't mind ballparking it?
Yeah, well, it's definitely mostly in NFTs. Went from my first NFT trade was like a little less than an ETH, and it's like 20 to 30x in NFTs, and it's been like a few months. Like NFTs are ridiculous.
20 to 30x in a few months. Henry,
Yeah,
man, why aren't you telling me about these? I guess I need the NFT Pro newsletter, don't I?
I guess you do.
Shoot, man, I gotta sign up for that. Yeah,
That's a killer trade, man. That's a killer trade. And honestly, like I don't even know how I would be able to do that because I'm not a I still don't have that experience with NFTs. So I mean, I think that not only am I gonna get into this with you guys because I think it's great to learn. I'm mostly like stocks, options, and things like that. But I think it's interesting to learn other things that you can make money on. And I'll tell you guys that if you are kind of getting to learn this, um, Henry is definitely the guy to do this, and Logan also. I vouch for Logan. This guy is definitely in that world. I'll give you that, definitely for sure. So these guys are the experts when it comes to this, and when it comes to NFTs, I'll tell you for sure. These guys definitely know their stuff.
yeah, it's a pretty niche market. I got my first NFT back in 2018, before NFT was even coined as a term. So I don't know if I need to say anything else.
Right, and if anybody does have a couple, just questions that you guys might want to go over about the actual program here that we have with the the newsletter NFT program, we're going to drop the contact there if you want to send an email or if you want to call. And, we'll be able to go over any questions that you might have. Keep in mind, this is literally a brand new launch here, the NFT program newsletter. So keep in mind, you guys are getting in right now at this special that we have. Typically, it's $3,000, but we did it for $997 for the year. So keep that in mind. This is only for the launch, which is today until midnight. You have the number there if you have questions, and you have the emails if you want to reach out. But yeah, just wanted to drop that contact there for you guys.
Awesome. So, J Rod, you are the pro at these webinars here, and now he's gone. Shoot. All right. Well, I was wondering, what do we do next? Do we talk about some projects from the past? Do we talk about crypto education? This is kind of why I threw it out to the chat earlier. I'm trying to figure out where you guys are, what we should talk about. If you guys have any NFT projects you're looking at, don't hesitate to throw those down there either. Henry, let's talk about some of your wins along the way. We've only been doing this for a handful of weeks, but what are your biggest winners and losers?
Yeah, so my biggest winners, probably, I think the biggest by far is this project called House Phases, which is like this. It's the founder likes to call it Web 4, which is a bit edgy, and I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but he's an ex-Apple guy who's great at making like this mysterious kind of project with basically the ultimate kind of utility, which has basically recently been a lot of airdrops, like basically giving you access to other projects that are also worth money. So like the house phases themselves are like a base level, and then built on top of it, you get a bunch of different projects. So this one had recently we had one of the biggest projects launches of the month called Murray. It was like a really great dark themed, gritty, anime inspired project, which has been part of the really popular trend recently. And if you had a house phase, you would be able to mint one of these for like 0.15. And like within the first day, like these Murrays went all the way to like almost 2 ETH. They have dipped since, but like it's still like a huge amount of profit from owning like this house phase, which like I minted some of these for 0.02 ETH, which is, like, I don't even know how much it is. That's so little. It's like $20, something like that. And it went like, the founder has brought so much value. It's been like, they were trading at like 1.8 the other day. Like there was a huge news in them. Like this has been one of my highest conviction projects, and I've talked about it on the newsletter twice because I love it so much. But recently they announced that they're going to be working with like some huge brands with Travis Scott, one of the largest rappers in the world.
That's so insane.
And V-Lone and Revenge X Storm.
Wow.
And unfortunately, like right after they announced this, they put out this white paper, but like OpenSea, like the main market where everybody trades NFTs, crashed for like an hour. So it kind of killed some of that hype, but and I still think it's undervalued. But
so Henry, there's a lot of things you mentioned there. One of the first things you said, the reason why you looked into this project was of airdrops and whitelist. So if somebody's completely new to the space, an airdrop is basically they take a look at your wallet. They say, hey, if you have this token, it qualifies you for us to send you this one, right? And so a lot of teams will put together airdrops to reward their holders. Some of these might be worth some money. Some of them might just be a cash grab. You could put out one NFT, sell it for 1 ETH and say, hey, we're going to do like 25 airdrops. Then you airdrop 25 things that are worthless. It doesn't really make a difference. So I think that what you added to that afterwards is the team behind it, right? It wasn't just, the fact that, hey, they're going to do airdrops and you're going to get some free stuff. It's like, hey, this team is working with other quality teams and giving rewards from these teams. He's working with these quality brands. So, I mean, personally for me, the thing that I look for number one in NFT projects is the team behind it, right? Henry, what's your take on this? Do you need to have a doxed team? Do you have to know who they are? Or is, the work what really matters?
That's kind of a difficult question. I guess it depends because, the founder of this project that I've, been talking about that I love so much is not fully doxed. Like we do know that at least he says he's, this ex-Apple.
But neither was Bored Ape Yacht Club until a month
ago,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. So, it doesn't necessarily mean a lot, but for smaller projects, especially that haven't proven themselves yet, it does make a pretty big difference. People are a lot less likely to scam you if you know their names and you can hold them accountable. Right. Especially because recently there was like these two like 20-year-olds who got indicted, charged for I think conspiracy to wire fraud or something for this NFT scam. So
was me. All right, Henry, tell us, how do you make money trading NFTs?
All right. Well, first you got to find a good project, and there's a couple ways that you can do this. I think your strategy depends on a few things, including kind of your time that you can put into it, and then also the funds that you can put into it. So you can either try to get into it before it launches and try to get on the whitelist, which basically lets you mint or buy this project like right when it launches Usually there's a exclusive supply, so it's going to be um, beneficial to get on the whitelist, especially because usually the price on these like big projects with a lot of anticipation is going to be a lot cheaper on the whitelist than it is later in the public sale. So, or in the like on the secondary sale, like on markets like OpenSea. So that can be difficult, and it can take a little more time, especially if you don't know exactly how to do it and how to kind of use your time really well. But it can also be like by far the biggest profit potential ever. So
Right,
like,
right. Absolutely. And for example, look at I'm just reading a comment here, and this is why it's so important to be able to do this the right way with the right mentorship, the right education. Don't try to really kind of piece all these things together because, it just really won't work. Just like anything else out there, if you try to like kind of go about it and wing it, especially when they're new, like something like this, like for example, so many rug pulls nowadays, and really that's why you do want to do this with the right community, right? With people, and just so you know, everybody that does join this program, this NFT program, weekly report, which is the hottest and surefire NFT projects that you'll be part of. Trust me on that. You're going to be part of an amazing community here at Benzinga. We're going to hook you up, guys, with a bunch of stuff. Don't worry. Like I said, this is something pretty much new. This price that you're seeing here, you're only going to see it until midnight. And there's a couple things that you guys are going to get with that, right? And we're going to keep adding more things to it, right? But we need to feel it out, right? So keep in mind that this is something that we are doing just for you guys, just for the NFT people. And I think that we're sharing something similar to what it would be, right? Henry or Logan, this
Yeah, I can jump in real quick. It's like a big part of the NFT world is community, right? Community is how you find projects that you align with personally. Do these people in this community have the same values? Do they share the same, artistic preferences even, right? And so what we have here is we have this core community of myself, Henry, Ryan, all these other NFT experts here at Benzinga, who have all of this value to provide, who spend probably in aggregate more than 24 hours a day looking at Twitter and Discord and NFT stuff. And so what we really want to do is, build a community on top of this, right? If you guys are here for legit projects, not just bag holder support groups, right? Legit projects that actually do stuff, might be a fun place to hang out. Hell, you can make some friends in these communities that you find along the way. That's not gonna happen unless you're part of this community here at Benzinga.
That's the thing, right? And this is really across the board, right? With everything that we do here at Benzinga, everything that we do here, we really have a solid community. Keep in mind, you guys are going to be the first founder users of this particular annual NFT project. Keep in mind, you're going to be getting also follow-ups on prior projects because there's always updates on projects that come out, and maybe it's worth to keeping an eye on that, right? So don't don't wait 10 years later from now and then fit and just say like, oh man, I should have learned this, I should have gotten into that. It's just do it now. It's going to be worth it for you down the road. You're going to learn all this stuff. It's going to be great, and you're going to be able to like make money with this, which is something that within 10 years you're going to be proud and say to yourself, I'm glad I took that NFT project for that whole year, right?
Mhm.
And you were actually one of the founding users here at the particular NFT program that we're just starting launching today, guys.
Right. And so we have another good comment. It's like, what's the program teaching you about? It's going to teach you how to mint straight from contracts, how to build a sniping bot. We can do whatever you guys want, right? This is kind of why we want to build this community, is we want to cater, our value towards where you can find value. What can we deliver to you? How can this community be beneficial to you? That's what we want to know. That's what we want to build. Right. If you guys want to do weekly Discord calls where we chat about the projects in the newsletter, let's do it. Right. If you guys want to, have Henry and I make a 10-minute recap of each newsletter and send it out in video form, we'll do it. Right. We are looking to, provide our value, share our value, grow this community, get more people involved, have you guys even help find the projects too. Once we get the community to a certain point, we'll be able
Yeah.
to approach these NFT projects like, hey, give us whitelist spots, right? That's the key that we're looking for here, is that we can build this community that is very deserving of whitelist spots from projects. That way, being an OG member of the community, you're just going to get whitelist spots handed to you from these projects if this community really evolves and really grows. And we're determined to make that happen. And we need you guys along the way with us.
Yeah, we are gonna hook you guys up. Like Logan is telling you guys, we're this is just the beginning, right? If you guys want us to build you, some sort of chat room or something like that, we can do it. It's what the people want. Benzinga is for the people, by the people. We are for the retail trader. We've been pretty clear about this and very solid about our statement with this. We stand with you guys, with the little guy. That's really why we're doing this here. So that we can make sure that as a community we're doing the right things, because there's a lot of stuff out there that's really not, like scams and stuff like that. You want to be careful, and you want to be able to educate yourself. um and Mexican Crypt Discord, I would say we'd probably even build something just for you guys, which is something like, I mean, but this is something that, like, would be just for you guys, right? So again, this is new,
Yeah.
just for people that are in the NFT world. But hey, if you guys like it, if you guys, definitely show interest, and this is really what you guys are into, right? Then, all aboard, man. Let's do it. All aboard.
100%. We see like there's so many people in the Benzinga audience. Like I host Moon or Bust and Web3 Anarchy. There's all these people that are into NFTs in our audience, and we can put together like a really tight knit family community of people who are serious about this. Right. That's what we have here for you today, and we'd love to get you involved. There's some chat comments out there. How can I become a part of this family from Alum? Rodrigo, I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, so we're doing just for today, because it's the launch. We did a special. Typically, we were gonna do 3,000 for the year, but we did a special just for this particular day until midnight. So we put the link there in the chat. You can do it. There is a 7-day money back guarantee on this for you guys, so you can go ahead, take it out for a spin. And at the end of the day, keep in mind this is for the whole year. It's for the whole year, right? After midnight, the price will be going up, so just keep in mind, try to do it before midnight. Um, and I do know that they do have some really fire NFT projects that they haven't even. Well, I mean, Logan told me a little bit about it, Henry also, but I know that they're kind of making sure they have everything set up and ready, and they have some really cool stuff coming up for the people that sign up. So if you do sign up, get ready. You're gonna get some really interesting projects from these folks, right?
Yeah, let's talk about those interesting projects. Let's go through maybe a couple past newsletters. Henry, if you have any recommendations on what week, what project, let's talk about some of the wins, because there have been plenty of opportunities in this newsletter already that could pay for the entire thing, right?
Yeah, so absolutely. So I'm looking at this thing. Let me know which particular project or week. It's labeled by weeks here. Which
Mhm.
one you want me to pop into here, my friend?
Let's see. How about I think uh, March 18th. I think
Mm,
318
Okay,
right there might be a good one. Any
three.
one of them would be good.
Okay,
318, yeah.
all right. Let's see what we got here. So you would have received this as a I mean, as an NFT member here of the project. All right. So what are we looking at here?
Yep. So this is a really important newsletter, I think, because right here, 318 was like right after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, which was a huge downward pressure on pretty much every market, including the NFT market. And you know, bear markets are pretty bad for holders who already have the NFTs or whatever asset, but they're great when you want to accumulate. So like we talked about a few of these great uh, projects. So first, this was like one of the biggest pieces of news. Like up here, the top was like Bored Ape Yacht Club, the biggest project out there, was announcing ApeCoin was announcing its new land sale, which is going to be absolutely huge, is coming up. We're talking about that on an upcoming newsletter. We've got a lot in store, but this one was, we brought a great breakdown of exactly what Bored Ape Yacht Club was going to do, how is it going to kind of break through on the market. And we also talked about one of these big projects that I've been really into as well, called Raid Party, which is a little bit farther down there. And I've also talked about that one twice, I think. One, like right before it launched, and it was going to be like a huge play to earn game, which has been one of the biggest trends in NFTs recently. So trends are a really, really important way to really trade the NFTs. Like, if it fits into the right trend, no matter like if the team is bad, if like any other thing is bad, as long as it fits well into the trend and has one or two good things about it, it can work.
Yeah,
so,
I was just about to bring up trends real quick, Henry, if you don't mind me cutting you off. Like, personally, I think that this will be the biggest year ever for NFTs. I don't think that there will be a better year to have access to this community for maybe 3 or 4 years other than this year, right? I think we're going to probably see an extended bear market after this. I think this is the year, this is the opportunity, like this is the time to actually start taking this stuff seriously. Would you agree?
Definitely. It's always better to get in as soon as possible. The NFT market is still pretty small compared to crypto, compared to obviously traditional markets.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of way to go.
Yeah. Yo, so check this out. I was at Bitcoin last week. I just got back and I noticed something really interesting I've never seen before at any crypto event. It is when somebody would say crypto instead of Bitcoin, everybody would just get super mad. Like they're like, oh yeah, this is new in crypto. And they'd be like, Bitcoin, like it's Bitcoin, like they're different. Like, and that just showed me that even some of the people who have made the most money in crypto still don't know, or in Bitcoin, still don't know about Ethereum and NFTs. They think it's way too risky. Look, if you want to stack some digital gold, I'm not going to judge you. I think that's probably a safe idea, right? But if you want to take advantage of this trend, NFTs are basically Bitcoin in 2011 right now, right? They're brand new, they're popping off, and there's not that many people in the network right now. So if we got another million people, which we're going to get another 3 million, 4 million from Coinbase in a couple weeks, if we only got 1 more million, we double the entire market size. And we're about to quadruple the entire market size.
Hey,
right?
sorry, really quick, Logan. Don't want to interrupt you here, but we do have a new family member here. I want to give a shout out to Tari, our newest member here.
Welcome to the community.
Welcome to the community. Absolutely, we got a new family member here, so just wanted to give a shout out. I didn't want to come and interrupt, but I was so excited, man. Sorry, I had to.
No, that is the most exciting thing. All right, I got a little bit sidetracked. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, this is the time. It's going, it's exploding, it's growing. Like I am more bullish. I've been buying more NFTs. My portfolio is like ridiculously over invested in NFTs. I barely have any crypto assets left. I literally sold all my Bitcoin, all my Ethereum to buy NFTs. And like, obviously I'm planning on shifting out of that, right? I think that we'll see another NFT bubble this year, but if you're not in this community, how are you going to know the time? How are you going to know how to play the market? How are you going to know which projects are moving without spending, 10 hours a day yourself? Probably not going to be able to. There will be days where you will make 10x the cost of this newsletter, and then it's free for the next 10 years.
Exactly.
There's a stupid amount of money in NFTs right now, and I think a mind-blowing amount that's about to come in. Henry, what do you think about the Coinbase NFT platform? How important is it to figure out how to do it yourself now before it gets fully mainstream?
Yeah, I think that's huge. I mean, we still don't have a date on that yet, which is good for everybody who hasn't gotten into it yet, because there's like 2 or 3 million signups or something on it, and there's like
it's 4 now, 4 million.
4, that's insane.
Yeah,
and only a fraction of that is trading NFTs now. So that's just like 5 or 6 times the money flowing into NFTs, just pumping up the projects that are already there. And I think it's going to be huge. Yeah, Coinbase has already started working with Bored Ape Yacht Club. They sold merch on there, and the site could barely handle it. It actually couldn't handle it. It went down, and that's with our small size of the market right now. Like, can't even imagine what it's going to be like once this kind of mainstream platform comes out. And
Yeah.
they dropped a teaser like earlier today, I think. And so there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, definitely. So we have another great question from Strictly, asking like what, there's other projects, there's other communities that have whitelist spots. Like how do we separate ourselves from that? I think the answer is pretty obvious, is that we're Benzinga, right? If you guys want your own sniping bot, we could do that, right? If you guys want a Discord, we could do that. If you guys want whitelist to this project, that project, we could see what we can do about it, right? We can at least try. We have more resources at our disposal. You know who we are. You can hold us accountable. We have the resources to make these things happen and deliver on them before these other communities could, right?
Yeah, I'd say that probably is the main thing. And look at this good comment here. Well, not a comment, but a question. And I think it's important to notate that you guys are going to provide educational material for people that also are asking basic questions. Like, they're really at a true beginner stage. Is that correct, Logan and Henry? You guys will provide that true, like that starter kit, if you will, for people to get acquainted with this industry. Correct?
Definitely. Definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, we can make if that's what you want, we can make a step-by-step way to just get into the NFT market. How to
Mm-hmm.
just like buy an NFT, all the basics, everything you need to know.
Yeah, and like if the thing is right now you're interested in NFTs, you're interested in making money, generating wealth, but you're not sure how to get started. You've never had crypto before, you've never had an NFT before. Like, please, please, please do not let that be the thing that stops you. Like, if you want to, leave a note in your purchase, and Henry and I will have a personal call with you to help you figure out how to get started. Right? We want to make this open, and that being said, it's not a cheap product, right? We're asking for a lot from you, and we hope that you'll see that we're delivering a lot in return. We want to make this a very proprietary custom community. Whatever you need help with, that's why we're here, right? If you need to get onboarded, done. Don't let that be the thing that stops you. Let it be the thing that actually motivates you to get into NFTs to begin with.
Yeah, the thing is that with NFTs, Logan, there's just so much out there, and it's so new, really, that a lot of people don't really know where to start. And I guess really this could be that starting point, right? Not only that, but you have that solid community, because it's all about community with NFTs, correct? That is really the main thing there.
100%. Yeah. Community is really everything. That being said, like it's kind of abstract. What does community mean? What is a good community? What is a bad community? Henry, what's your take?
Yeah, so this one's a hard thing to kind of really gauge, but one of the most basic things that people use to uh, understand like how a project if a project will succeed is just like looking at the follower count. How many people follow their Twitter, how many people are in their Discord, but that's not enough. Unfortunately, people using like Twitter bots and Discord bots are all too common. So you really have to take a look and make sure the community is good. And that's just to figure out if it's going to mint out, if it's going to actually sell in the first place. But that's not even enough to really see if the project will hold. Like well, you either need to kind of look at the project yourself, go into the Discord, go into the Twitter, make sure there's engagement, there's people talking, there's people, on Twitter, they're liking, retweeting, etc. I mean, if there's like 60,000 followers and like 10 likes on each tweet, that there's that's a big red flag. But that's part of what I do. I it's kind of ridiculous. I'm constantly hitting the 200 server limit on Discord because I'm always going into these different Discords, kind of talking to people there, gauging their interest, excitement, what they feel about the projects. And so I've gotten really good at kind of understanding how a project can succeed from having a good community and what that good community looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there have been some projects that just have so much hype ahead of time. Like Invisible Friends is one that I'm thinking of. The most hype project came out for 1 ETH, went right to 10 or whatever it was. Not sure where it is today, but I think it's somewhere around 5. I'm scrolling through the top 10 list, top 50 list. I'm struggling to see it, which is pretty sad, right? This is one project that uh, was focused too much, I think, on the release or the reaction and not enough about how it ages, right? So one thing that ages the community, if the floor price goes down, is this community going to turn on you? Are they going to sell their bags? Are they going to compete to undercut each other? Or is this community here together for another reason? One of the NFT projects I'm in is called the Heart Project. Everybody in it is a musician or a creative, right? That being said, the floor price doesn't really matter because the utility that's being delivered is the networking, is the events, is the close, right? That being said, like there's other projects that don't do this. Their community is truly just bag holder support group, right? And I use that term all the time because it's hilarious, but in reality, it's very true. Like there are so many examples of communities that have just completely turned on each other, right? When the floor price goes down, they start competing against each other to get liquidity out, to pull ETH out before it goes down, and that just makes it go down like super, super, super fast. There's so much that goes into picking NFT projects. Seeing if this is going to be potentially something that works out, something that is probably going to bust. But we really want you to learn how to think about this. We want you to see our mindsets and say, okay, this is how Henry and Logan evaluate a project, right? They do X, Y, and Z. And this is something that I could use myself to start evaluating other projects, right? Obviously, Henry's going to give me those 5 gas projects every single week. But I can now take this and also use it to make money on other projects, right? So kind of back to the point earlier is like customizing the experience to you guys, to what you guys want to see, and what's helpful or beneficial to you. We want you to make money. We don't want to make money unless you guys are making money. That's why we have the money back guarantee. That's why we're willing to, customize whatever type of education desire you have. We have you covered. I'm curious to see if anybody has any questions out there in the chat. If anybody is considering, joining this community and isn't quite convinced yet, please feel free to ask questions. Let us know. Henry, maybe if you could share your screen, maybe walk through either your thought process, how you go about finding projects, or maybe you could just go over some highlights since it will be easier for you with control.
Yeah, sure. Why don't we go over one of our recent newsletters? Let's see. This was one of my favorites. Let me share screen. But we've had, of course, a lot of big successes, and we can go through a bunch of them. But I think this is a really good one to cover. This one was from March 11th. So this is kind of the basic outline of one of these newsletters. So we start out with a bit of a kind of a market description. This was even earlier, like closer to the conflict in Ukraine. So there's a bit less to say about the NFT market itself, but this is like a really great time that I found to actually like really get into it, find good projects. And that's like the dip. Like there's always a dip in every market. And in NFTs, like this week was perfect. And I think we took advantage of it really well with this newsletter. So we talked about a few interesting projects. This one was we talk about the winners first, and then we go into like the 5, these are the big projects that I really believe in. So first, this was like a really innovative, kind of interesting project that was like a long shot. Like if it could take off, like it's going to the moon. It's like this project where you can like buy whitelist spots through this platform using a token that the NFTs like create, like they earn tokens. And that was like a really innovative thing, and they've been doing pretty well. I think they're still higher than they were when this newsletter came out. They weren't exactly the moonshot that they could have been, but they still have some potential. This one was also really cool. Really, one of the more interesting projects I've seen. It's taking like it put a message inside the NFTs. So usually NFTs are just like, basic profile pictures, whatever, trying to flex all about the profit. This was a really interesting one about the message. And I thought that was, unique enough that it really needed to be covered, and it could be a huge project. Uniqueness is also a huge part of success in NFTs. So you really want to find the most unique projects. Sometimes there's like derivative projects that kind of work just because they're kind of building off the hype of a previous project, but usually it doesn't work out in the end. But that was a good project to kind of take a look at that concept, that trend. But now we're coming on to my favorite project, which I had to talk about again. This was actually the second time I talked about it, because the first time I talked about it was like the price floor was like 0.4 ETH, something like that, 0.35, 0.4 ETH, like a month before this, something like that. And I was like, this looks great. They're promising a lot. We need to kind of be careful, because sometimes they promise a lot, but don't deliver. But like, I could see that this guy, Asa, who I mentioned before, who's like this ex-Apple guy who started this whole project from the ground up. Like he launched this project where you only had to pay like 0.02 ETH to buy one of these. And it turned out to be, one of the biggest projects in the market right now. It's constantly hitting the top of the leaderboards on OpenSea for volume. It's been really amazing. And like, this newsletter was great. I think it's a great example of kind of our understanding of how to make use of trends. So, and also just our trading experience. Because like, as I said before, this is like the perfect time to pick it up. Like there's a big dip. House phases were on another dip. Like I said before, when I first mentioned it, it was like 0.4. And it like went to like 1.4 or something. I don't remember exactly what it peaked at then, but then it came down again to like 0.5. And like that day I put this out, I saw this is a great price point. This has got to be coming back up, because they had just put out like he basically, the founder, bought a Takashi Murakami painting, and Takashi Murakami is like a huge artist in the NFT space. He's helped build this project called CloneX, did a lot of art for that, and he just put out his own. But
yeah, he also works with Kanye and Virgil, and like Takashi Murakami is one of the greatest living artists alive right now. The fact that he's involved with anything NFTs, I think, is a good sign.
Definitely. And like, it was amazing. Like I'm a little bit biased because so he took this Murakami painting for like $150,000-$200,000, and he split it into like 150 NFTs. And so it's like there's this new concept of fractionalization in NFTs. So you can turn one NFT or one physical thing into like any certain amount of NFTs. And he did this with this Takashi Murakami painting and just gave it out to holders of these house phases. And
Dang.
I somehow got one. That was
nice. That's sick, dude. I didn't even know that. You didn't tell me. I want to see that one. But one quick interruption is like something you mentioned earlier. You showed at the top, right? There's a long section about what's going on in the NFT market at large, right? So not only is this just showing you projects, it's sharing our intuitions and Henry's intuitions on where the market is at, and maybe where you want to try to be allocating, whether it's into NFTs or out of NFTs. You need to know that, right? And so, is this the time to buy the dip? Is this the time to sell? Is it overhyped? That comes alongside this, which I think is maybe even the most valuable part of it. And so, I definitely like to highlight that.
Really quick, Logan here. So I'm getting a good question here from the chat. How many of these projects or NFT would they be receiving? Is this per week? How many per week? And this would be for this for today for this particular pro session?
Hmm. Yeah, Henry, if you want to answer that one, it's pretty similar.
So we put out every single newsletter. We have 5 projects, and they either fall into one category, which is like potential whitelist. And so you can get, as I said before, you can get in the project early. You can get it for a reduced price. Sometimes it's like 10x, sometimes it's 20x, sometimes it's just like 2x or whatever. But that's what we're really trying to focus on, because those can be the huge profit margins. Like some of those that we've talked about was like Hate Beast, which was absolutely huge. We were mentioning it like before it came out. It minted for like 0.3 ETH, something like that. And then it was like immediately trading for 7 ETH. Crazy amount, like $20,000 plus. And I mean, there have been plenty of others that we've talked about that have been at least that 10x, crazy numbers like that.
Right.
But we also, they're and we can try to get whitelists for you as well. So with the power of Benzinga, NFT projects are usually happy to give out whitelist spots to people who
We'll
can
use
help
them.
them. Exactly. Who will use them, who will
Exactly.
buy their NFT, because they still win when you buy your NFT, but it's also a resource for them. So like
Yep.
they'd rather give them to Benzinga than this some podunk newsletter or whatever, some small community who doesn't have much influence, doesn't have very many people.
Right. Yeah, we have 50 million monthly readers. Like that sells itself. They would give the whitelist spots to us over other people anytime if there's the community that will use them, right? So the more people that join and start using this, the more valuable it will be for everybody.
So this means, Logan, that it's very likely that users, right, members of our NFT project here, of our first Benzinga NFT, you know, the legit, right, stuff here, that they are going to have access to certain projects that others will not, correct?
That's definitely the hope for it, right? Uh, Providing whitelist spots is like we could get them from random projects, and we could guarantee you access to something that nobody else has. But that being said, that doesn't mean it's going to be a good project or a good whitelist, right? So we want to work our way up, build our way up to getting whitelist spots from the projects that Henry is mentioning here. And like EtherOrcs is on the screen right now. That's a perfect example, because EtherOrcs was started by people that Henry and I know, right? We've been in this community and deep in this community for so long that we know most of the people putting out the big projects. We have these connections already. So that's just another reason why having a Benzinga community is better than just a random NFT Discord community.
Definitely. And like those whitelists are great, and you can make a ton off of them, but it's also not the only way to trade. Like that also takes a lot of effort. Part of the great part of this will be hopefully to provide great whitelist spots. But also, like some of our biggest profits come from these projects that are already out, like EtherOrcs, which has been an amazing project that I've been following for months and months. As Logan said, we know a bunch of the guys on the team, and I've been a strong supporter of them, and it's helped me kind of understand the market better, learning how projects like EtherOrcs do well. And I go over that, I go over exactly kind of the scoop, what it is, but then also the extremely important part is my take on it. So, there are a lot of projects that are, say, a play to earn game. Your NFT can earn you some tokens or some kind of passive income. There's a lot of that, but you need that extra information that can take you from, oh, this is just some random play to earn game that might do okay, it might do incredibly well, but I don't know. But like my experience with EtherOrcs, knowing the team, knowing how successful it's been in the past, just following it, playing the game, and like that's extremely, extremely valuable. Like I've been able to follow this project. Like it was on one of the very first newsletters, because I knew like this is an amazing project.
Henry, in USD terms, how much do you think you've made from this project alone?
Oh, that's let's see, probably $10,000 to $15,000.
That's crazy. That's so crazy, right? And what was your cost basis?
like about an ether.
So you went from 3,000 to 15,000, 5x. That will pay for 12 years of access to this NFT Pro community.
Exactly.
Like, and this is one project from one newsletter. Um, Obviously not everyone is going to be a 15x, but what we'll do is we'll take out all of the negative 15x's, right? um, I see so many people that like are really curious and passionate about getting into the NFT space for the first time. They finally get on Twitter, they get on Discord, they're having a great time, super excited, tweeting, tagging 3 friends a million times a day. They finally get their first whitelist spot for some random ass project, and they're like, "Oh my god, I finally got one! Like, let's go! I'm about to get my first NFT." And it turns out that most NFTs should probably be free 10, 20 years from now. And so you don't want to spend your first investment on one of these random projects, right? There's so many everybody's promising a play to earn game. This is a perfect example. Play to earn is one of the most cutting edge exciting things in decentralized finance, in game finance. You can make money by staking your NFTs, by playing games with NFTs. Cool cats, cool pets, ether orcs, Axie Infinity. Like, there's all these different games that are actually out there, and then there's 10,000 times more projects that are promising a play to earn game that will never deliver it, right? So weeding out the bad projects, I think, is the number one like reason you'd want to join this community to begin with. Is like, all right, I don't want to have to think about NFT projects. I just want to get 5 good ones a week. I'll take a look, evaluate them myself, and pick 1 or 2 to invest in, or even to sell, right? Maybe take profits out of this one. That being said, dude, I was on a play to earn train. That's what I was talking about. Completely spaced. So, Henry, how do you see play to earn evolving this year? Do you think that there will be more opportunities for more passive income streams through the newsletter, through the NFT space?
Absolutely. So, I've gotten into a little bit of play to earn already, but that's one of my expertises. Like I have to pay a lot of attention to it. I like writing kind of specific articles about projects, really good deep dives, and I've written like 4 now, I think, all on these very specific play to earn games. I've gotten really familiar with everything, that kind of how tokenomics works, and how that breaks down. What tokenomics is kind of obvious that it won't work. Like I talked about this project called Creeps Genesis, like a few months ago, like right when it was like peaking super hard. It was like went from like less than 0.8 ETH to like 6 or 7. And I was like, wow, this is incredible, but this, I would kind of be really careful with this because the tokenomics just don't make sense. Like, the basic idea of play to earn, your NFT earns tokens, and then those tokens can usually be used to make more NFTs. And that works when you have a good use for those tokens, a good use for those NFTs that doesn't just kind of make the supply rise and rise and rise, just hyperinflation basically. And I could tell, like, okay, this is not going to work. Creeps is not going to work. And I was exactly right. I mean, it was down at like 1 or 2 ETH, I think now, and it's like there's a big difference. Like I knew a bunch of people that were like really into it and were like, this is the next big thing. It has to be. But I knew that there was something wrong with it because they had like basically the new NFT that you would mint with the tokens made more tokens. So it was just speeding up the inflation. So I was like, this is not a good idea. The tokenomics falls apart. And so like I understand the faults of play to earn. So I can kind of read into whether a project will probably do well, if it's going to fail.
Yeah, these NFT projects are getting really, really sneaky with making SafeMoon, but with more steps, right?
Exactly.
It's reflection fees, it's tax, it's inflation, and people who hold are just going to get destroyed. And they're coming up with all these creative ways to hide this process, this scam inside of like a play to earn model. And it's too easy to fall for it. But that's why we got Henry, right?
Yeah, hey, really quick here. Just want to jump in here, Henry. I'm getting a lot of questions, a lot of emails about this. So I'm just going to kind of go through this with you as we go along, okay? Um, first question here. Oh, I got this one. Is there a Yes, there is a 7-day money back guarantee for the program. Now, um, we do have a special discount. It's only until midnight, so it is an annual. So that means that next year it will renew, but it will renew at the same price. It will not renew at the full price. So that's for everybody that for all those that were asking me that question. Next question I have here. Well, you already went over this one. You'll send them like several of these projects throughout the week, right? It's like a weekly thing, right?
It's weekly.
And we can actually and if the people want it, then hey, um we can give them like other stuff. Like this is just the beginning, correct? Like there's
Definitely.
a there's a lot of room to run here, guys. But I'll tell you, once we're going full speed, it's not going to be 997. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's just not going to be at that point. At that point, you're going to be looking, because here's the thing: when you have to get into these things, whenever they're in that baby stage, right? Once it's like just getting into Bitcoin. Start looking at Bitcoin now when it's like 40 grand, instead of all of us that ignored Bitcoin when it was like a couple $100, because we just refused to look into or understand this. If we would have just taken a couple of minutes, maybe joined a nice little group like this with Benzinga, maybe that could have been a pretty big game changer. And I know people that literally bought like some Bitcoin just for the fun of it, and these people are just like strapped at this point in life. So
I'd say like be curious before you're judgmental when it comes to this stuff.
curiosity. I mean, be curious about it, absolutely. And this is something that even if, let's say, like, because I do know some people that want to join, and they want to join just because they want to open a certain business regarding NFTs. So even people that want to open a business and start doing this stuff with NFTs for to sell it or resell whatever, like to businesses or people, whatever. Some people use this, right? There's a lot of education in this stuff, Henry, right? um, because you can trade these things, you can trade them, you can use them to invest. Is that correct? Right? And
Definitely. Yeah. There's a lot of facets. So like we've been focusing on the trading part, on the investing part, but that's not all. Like I've worked with a few projects and like actually launching and creating your own NFT project, and that can be ridiculously ludicrous if you do it right. And so like that is also a thing that we could possibly provide, because we just don't really know if that's what y'all want. But if you do, that's something that we're open to. Logan
And
also has some
just
personal
to,
experience.
yeah, like NFT consulting is really, really, really expensive. You could get about 1 hour of my consulting time for the year of this, right? So if you're looking to maybe build an NFT project, you're not going to get a better deal.
yeah, and just so you guys know, next time you hear that deal, it's definitely gonna be. It's not gonna be 997, because yeah, Logan like pulled the trigger too early here. That was actually gonna be like something that we were gonna do exclusively for a much higher ticket item, much smaller group. But I guess that since cat's out of the bag now, everybody that does join will get a 1 hour private NFT
My
um,
bad.
discussion with Logan, right?
Yep. Yep. You got it.
And I'm also going to call in for that session too, Logan, because NFTs are definitely the hot thing. And look, I mean, I did the mistake of like, well, I don't know if it was a mistake. I was in college. It was like my freshman year. Like Bitcoin just wasn't the thing I was looking at the time. My head was somewhere else, right? And now I'm looking at this NFT stuff, and I have friends that are covering it and they're talking about it, and I'm looking at businesses do it, and then I'm looking at conglomerates, Fortune 500, Fortune 200 companies, like they're all getting into this, teams, football teams, everybody's getting into the stuff. So it's something that all they have to do is keep pushing, and it's going to keep getting higher, right? All this stuff, it just gives that confirmation um, for all this stuff. So I think that the
Yeah.
sooner you learn this, there are people even that have jobs for NFT, like NFT jobs,
Mhm.
that can get it from this, right?
Right. It's like there's a reason that all the money and all these new people are coming into this space right now. It's because they're paying attention and they know something, right? They're excited about this opportunity, and so are the consultants. I met this consultant at Bitcoin the past week who charges, get this, $250,000 per hour, which is like, that sounds stupid. Who would ever pay that? people do because there's that much money in this space, right? That wouldn't be his rate if nobody paid it. So for $1,000, like, come on now.
Yeah, the margins are absolutely insane. You know, if you can mint out a project, you know, at an average of like 0.05 ETH, you know, times 1,000 or 10,000, you know, some projects are 10,000 or even more. You know, that's an absurd amount. Like Bored Ape Yacht Club is planning on making like 300 something million on this NFT sale. So it's like it's ridiculous how much profit is out there.
Rodrigo, what are some of the other questions we've gotten?
Well, we covered some of the questions here. 7-day money back guarantee. Also, another good question here we have. Strictly sports. Well, we don't have a payment plan, but I mean, you can email me and we can see what we can do for this case. I understand. It's a good question still. Um, so the other question is, can I use this to trade or is this just like a buy and hold kind of thing? And what do you say, Henry, for that? I think you kind of covered that, but this is a new question, so I don't want to. Maybe he
Yeah.
didn't understand.
Yeah, there's definitely some nuance. So um, I talk about both kinds of projects. Like there is the kind of project where you want to hold it, you know, especially, you know, two of the projects that I've talked about before, Etherworks and House Faces, are both projects that I'm going to be holding for quite a while. You know, mostly because Etherworks is making me a butt ton of money, and so is House Faces. So you know, why would I sell them? But you know, that being said, there are a lot of projects that, you know, like you want to sell them at the peak. There's this like saying that a lot of people that I know, a lot of my friends in NFTs say, is sell into volume. You know, that's something that we like to say
Right.
because, you know, that's just the best time to sell because NFTs are so illiquid. You know, when there's a lot of volume, that means the price is going up higher than it probably should be, or it's going lower than it should be. So it's also kind of buy into illiquid or to low volume.
Do you,
But we talk about that a lot. Like there are projects where you can get a quick one ETH, you know, $3,000, $6,000 profit, and then it'll, you know, crash after that. But like it helps you learn like exactly where you want to get out. You know, if this
right.
project is a bag hold, something to hold in your bags for a long time, or something to, you know, be ready to get rid of, take your profits.
Right, and Algo is saying same thing with options, and I agree. I trade options. It's the same way. Like you trade into the volume. Absolutely. So I guess that's a um, good answer. And let me follow up here. So that means that you will give them like an entry point, right? Now, how about like an exit point? Like, will they know? How will they know how to sell? Is this something that is discussed? Um, or are these some of these projects you will let them know in the same alert, like, hey, this is a holding period of such and such, or is this a trade? What, like, do you give them that sort of guidance on that, on holding periods for the NFTs?
So it's hard to be specific. We do like to like I do cover kind of what this project is. Is it a long term hold? Is it a kind of be ready to trade it at volume? Because that's really what you need to know. Like on a case by case basis, like there's no way anyone can predict like, oh, you should sell it when it hits this number. You should sell it when it hits 2 ETH, whatever. You should buy it when it hits zero point 0.1 ETH, you know. But what the newsletter really teaches you, what this helps with is, you know, learning the basic strategy of like what it looks like when you should sell, what it looks like when you should be buying. Kind of like I said before, part of it is like sell into volume, buy when there's low volume kind of drops. So it's more focused on kind of the general strategy, which is even more helpful than kind of like me giving you a guess on like, you know, maybe this project hits like 10 ETH, maybe it goes to 6. You know, that's not as helpful.
Right, and that's the thing, because it's something that well, it's that's a community aspect, all that stuff. And personally, myself, I think it's great that this is a great place. I think it's a great place to start, to get started with the education. And you also provide education with NFTs, right? Not just these projects that they should be looking into, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, the first part is of the newsletter every week. We talk about how the market's going, and a few basic things, kind of big ticket events. But I'm also completely open to, as we said before, kind of work with new people, help you onboard in any way you need. Could put out a video like how to buy your first NFT, how to be ready to buy your first NFT, stuff like that. We've been mostly focusing on kind of helping, like giving you the information that's like a step beyond like the onboarding. Like it's easy enough to kind of figure out from, like, once you have a wallet ready to go. That's what we've been focusing on before, but we're absolutely open to doing onboarding stuff. We can make a video. It's really, you know, we're happy to do that. Help anybody.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, okay, just so you guys know, the 997 is until midnight. Until midnight. After midnight, it's gonna go back to the normal price, which is 3,000. And if you do want to get it, it's gonna. I mean, we won't be able to help because it's gonna have to be that way. This is only a special because of the launch that is today, only for the NFT crew. And keep in mind, this is the beginning of something very beautiful here. The beginning of something a lot bigger, for the NFT crowd, for the NFT community. We at Benzinga here definitely want you to feel at home. So, um, if you find a home in us, we'll definitely make it a home for you to like and stay with. We'll definitely try to give you as much as we can here. Again, this is the launch of the NFT Benzinga NFT program, and depending on how you guys are feeling about it, as a community, we can give you guys certain things, right? And the goal here is to make something that works for all you guys in the NFT space. And I think that Henry and Logan are some great folks to really get this done with. Ultimately, I can personally vouch for them. I can tell you that these are people that you can trust when it comes to like all this stuff with NFTs and things like that. Personally, there's a lot of stuff out there, that you shouldn't. But the fact that we're doing this at Benzinga, it's because we are putting that stamp of approval that we know, and we're pretty much doing our best here to guide you in this NFT space. So, Logan, Henry, are there any closing remarks that you guys have? I know you shared some really good trades. Um, I know that you shared a couple. There's a couple other things that are going to happen, and new projects that you guys will be putting out for the people that joined today. Um, what are some other things you can leave us with here? Since we've had such a great session here, and I know you guys have some NFT projects that you do have to whip out as well for the members.
Yeah, so I did just see a comment that I think is really important to touch on again. So yeah, like the main focus of this has been, like the best projects where the best profit is probably going to be. So like I went through earlier today through all our newsletters so far, and I saw like maybe 10, 15 different projects that are like, okay, like, well, okay, these are our big wins. And yet, like, this is all serious stuff. Those projects together probably could have flipped for, 30 ETH. If you're really paying attention, you can flip at the right time. And so there was a lot of that. It's not just beginner stuff. Like the first parts, once you're onboarded, you're really ready to go. You're really ready to go find these projects that we're talking about and be ready to take it on and hopefully make a ton of profit.
Yeah, and like say you're not ready, like that's not the reason to stop. If you're not ready, don't know how to do NFTs, don't know how to get into NFTs, like we'll set up a one-on-one personal call and help you figure it out. If you want to do sniping, if you want to get some feedback on your projects, on your portfolio, whatever it is, literally whatever it is, that's what this community is for.
Even if you don't know what any of that means, this is also
Exactly.
where you want to get started, because there are
If you have
people
been
that,
confused
yes.
for an hour straight, then this is for you, right? If wherever your knowledge is, we will provide content across the entire thing and also take your feedback into account. We want to make something that you guys want to use at the end of the day, right? So whatever that might be, let us know. Come talk to us. If you have any questions, email Rodrigo. He'd be more than happy to help you clear that up. If there's anything else that's missing, he can just hit up Henry or myself to get you filled in. But I really think that this has the potential to be something that's like really kind of special. There's not many groups out there doing this, and of those groups, none of them are Benzinga. That's just the way it is. None of them are Benzinga. They're all brand new. They're all scraping it together, and they don't have the connections. They don't have the resources. They don't have the audience. We do, and we want to leverage that for you guys, right? That's the key here, is like taking all of Benzinga's, thank you, taking all of Benzinga's power and expertise, and like delivering that to you guys where we can. That being said, like,
Yeah, and if Benzinga ever does like an NFT project, I'm sure we're gonna get
airdrop,
only. Oh
boom.
yeah, yeah, just for the people that are members, right?
Yeah.
Just for the users, we're gonna get like top notch, high quality, like awesome, badass fire NFTs for you
So
guys.
fun fact, if you sign up, you will get a free NFT delivered to your inbox 7 days later. It's not this is just a token. It's a POAP. It says, hey, I was one of the OGs. It's not, trading on any markets, but if you want a free NFT, you will get one 7 days after you sign up, delivered right to your inbox. So more NFTs coming
Yeah,
soon, maybe
and
some more with new utilities, new values, and like we'll airdrop those to our
and we're gonna
community.
raffle. We're gonna raffle NFT. We're gonna do like NFTs just for the members. Like there's a lot there's a lot that we didn't even tell them that we're gonna do, but that is coming down the road. Um, just like things like that. Like they can win certain things, like 1 hour with Logan Ross on how to do minting, or any of these other things, right? Logan,
Yep.
that's good. That's good. I mean, what more could you guys want? Really, this is as best as it could get. This has been a great session.
Yeah.
Henry, what are some closing remarks on your end, really, on this amazing project that we are, taking on as a
Yeah.
community here?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is, as we said before, this is the absolute best time to get on it. The NFT market just hit its like peak in February, and it was nothing compared to other markets, compared to crypto. And it has a long way to go. And you really need to be like one of the first people in. There's still time. And like, you really need either a ton of time to kind of be on the ground and do all that research yourself, which is really not possible for most people, or you need to get something like us, like our project, that really brings you everything you need, all the information of the best projects, how to onboard as part of it if you want it. As we said before, we can have some like one-on-ones. We can really get you all you need for NFTs, and you really want to get in as soon as possible because NFTs are not stopping now.
Nope.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank both of you guys for being here. I know you guys have a lot of NFT stuff to do, so and I'm a big fan of this stuff, so I'm always reading that stuff. I know some of these things have been really on fire, and the good thing is that you guys offer all that support there, right, to help all these people if they have any questions. So, thank you guys for being here, Logan, Henry. Great having you guys here. Again, the chat, if you want to join this pretty much NFT program, Benzinga NFT program, the first one and the best one. Okay, use that link in the chat. We have that discount. It's until midnight, so make sure that you use it before midnight. It's the same price that it will be next year. So at renewal next year, it'll be the same price. Just to keep that in mind. There's a 7-day money back guarantee. You're gonna get an onboarding session with Logan. If you have questions about a specific thing, we'll just make group sessions as well. Like this is all about building that community and you being part of it. It's just going to help you so much more, really, and it's going to be good for you because keep in mind we're going to have special prizes for the first 10 members. Okay, the first 10 people that join for this beautiful Benzinga NFT are going to have a special surprise. It's only going to be the first 10. Um, so just know that, guys. First 10 people will get a special surprise. Can't even talk about it here. It's just how it is. But you will get it. All right, guys.
One
Now,
last thing. One last thing. I see people out there in the comments wondering, like, how long is it going to take for me to get my money back? Like, how long does it take to do these flips? Like, I totally understand you don't want to just lose $1,000, right? If you purchase this and join the community and you're struggling to make it back, we'll literally set up one-on-one phone calls with you to help you, figure out what plays make sense for you, your portfolio, your risk tolerance. Like, nobody here wants anybody to lose out on this. This is going to be a huge net additive. If we get if we get together, come together, and we do
Yeah,
this.
and this is why we're gonna have to end up having like some group sessions at one point. It's probably
100%.
it's gonna be like maybe once or twice a week, or we can have like a chat where we can hang around. I
Hmm.
mean, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes, guys. But I mean, the first thing is the first thing. You got to join. All right. Once that happens, we can start doing all that stuff, and you guys, as the founding users, will get all the stuff. Um, you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I want to thank you guys for definitely being here, Logan, Henry. I learned a lot, and I'm gonna keep learning. I'm gonna get more involved with NFTs because I'm just not gonna do the same mistake I did when I saw Bitcoin just fly by me, and
Hmm.
just really didn't even take it seriously. So
Yeah,
um,
this is a good way to force yourself to take NFTs seriously, right?
yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Henry. If you guys want to follow up with him, join up the NFT program because for those members that join, you're going to be hearing a lot from them. All right, guys. So shout out to the folks here. Shout out for everybody. Email, a call if you have questions. I'm here. I'm ready to go. And shout out. Thanks for coming here, guys.
Hell yeah! Thank you for having us. Make sure to follow me, follow Henry on Twitter as well. That's a good place to stay up to date with us and see if you like our content, see if you like our style. Figure it out while you got those 7 days. Henry, this has been dope, amazing. You've been killing it week after week, and I'm just excited that more people are going to be able to get into this community, get into this experience, and we can all eat together.
Definitely, I'm pumped for it.
Awesome. I think that's it, Rodrigo. Unless you got anything.
Final horn, guys. Final horn. Anybody has questions, call out. And Logan, thank you. That's it. I'm good to go. I'm actually gonna go in because I know that you guys are working on a couple projects. I had a little sneak peek of it. Henry showed me, so I'm actually gonna go take a look at that special project you guys are
You
gonna
gotta
be look.
send me the link, bro.
Henry's got it. But for those that
Hey,
do join, you guys will get that project. Don't worry.
Alrighty. Can't wait. Thank you, everybody. Peace and love. Zinger Nation. I'm out. Yo, J Rod, should we cut it off now or you want to leave it up?
I mean,
No.
if anybody has questions, maybe.
Okay. All right. I'm going to hop off then. Thank you so much once again. See you guys.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and finish. We're gonna close off the stream. If nobody has any questions on this, it's a 7 day money back guarantee. Let me know if anybody does have any question there. Strictly sports. I got you here. Having something like this to help you get started can actually save you way more down the 997. Absolutely, man. It's way better than just losing all your money in some random project. It's never happened to me, but you know, I've heard stories, and really, that's kind of why you want to do these things with a community. Don't just try to do this on your own, because you really never know who's on the other side, who you're talking to. Here on the other side, you know who we are. You know who Benzinga is, and you know that we are going to vouch everybody as far as like you being a real human being, right? Like, there's no such thing as creating a fake account or a fake bot or nothing like that in our system. So it's all who we are, right? We're not robots. Um, so many people lose money like that when they first get in because they have no idea what they're doing. Strictly sports, I'm pretty sure that happens a lot to people that don't know what they're doing, but that applies to everything. People that trade options, they don't know what they're doing, they lose all their money too. People that trade crypto, they don't know what they're doing, they lose all their money too. Like, what is the one thing they all have in common? They don't know what they're doing, and they're probably trying to do it alone. Like, very, very high chances that that is the case. So, my suggestion, if you guys really want to get into it and do it with me because I will. Like, I'm getting more and more like familiar with this NFT stuff. Get going over these alerts and these things like that, these projects, how they work out. So yeah, guys, just reach out if you have questions. Let us know. The email and contact is in the chat, guys. Thank you very much for popping in here, and we'll see you guys next time.